Welcome to the Higher Arabia podcast, powered by MatchMaker #1. I'm Ines Mokrani, recruiter, coach, and connector of talent across Europe and the Middle East. In this podcast, we explore the challenges, opportunities, and success stories of hiring in one of the world's most dynamic regions. Let's dive in. Welcome to our discussion on the rise of hybrid leadership in the Middle East. It's pretty fascinating how the concept of global leadership is evolving, right?
Absolutely. It's so intriguing. So what's the core idea behind these hybrid leaders?
Well, the idea is that true global leadership isn't about just flexing English skills, showing off diversity slides, or spending a couple of years abroad. Instead, it's about being able to think in and act upon two completely contradictory cultural logics at the same time.
Yep. That's wild. So instead of just blending, these leaders sort of hold two opposing approaches simultaneously.
Exactly. It's like being attuned to both analytical planning and intuitive trust. In the Middle East, leaders are making decisions with like 200 nationalities in one room, so they need to switch from structured, data-driven routines to rapid, emotional, relationship-driven decisions.
Wow, that definitely sounds challenging. How do they manage to do both without, losing focus?
It's a bit like having several gears instead of one or two. Imagine needing clarity, warmth, speed, authority, and then switching to flexibility at a moment's notice. And it's not as simple as mixing 50% of one with 50% of the other. It's more about balancing these distinct modes without compromising your center.
Yeah, I see. So it's not about being half and half, but more about having a broad, flexible toolkit.
Absolutely right. Think of it as executive intelligence that goes beyond typical soft skills. In Europe, leadership might lean on clarity and long-term planning, whereas in the Middle East, it's built on trust, presence, intuition, and yes, speed. So a hybrid leader in practice fluidly switches gears from analytical to relational and from long-term strategies to quick, decisive moves.
That's a neat perspective. So, in practice, these leaders are not choosing one style over the other. They're just seamlessly integrating both.
Precisely. And because of that, their environment is like a leadership pressure cooker. Every decision, every negotiation involves elements of speed, emotion, data, and hierarchy, all intertwined. And that's, what really redefines what global leadership is supposed to be.
But let me respectfully challenge one thing. Doesn't this constant toggling between styles risk making a leader scattered? How do they not seem like divided?
That's a good point. But here's where executive intelligence comes in. A true hybrid leader isn't juggling for the sake of it. They switch deliberately. When the situation calls for warmth, they use it. When it calls for clarity, they shift to that. It's like having multiple gears in a car. You're not revving all of them at once. You choose the right one for the curve you're on.
I get it. It's all about using the right tactic at the right moment.
Exactly. And there are a couple of iconic capabilities these leaders have. They have what you could call situational identity. They don't have one fixed leadership personality. Instead, they adapt to require clarity, warmth, authority, flexibility, or speed as needed. It's like an ever-changing dashboard of capabilities.
That's interesting. So they're not locked into just one mode of leadership. They're adaptable by nature. Person 2. Yep.
Right. And then there's something called relationship power. Unlike the often rigid Western approach that relies on KPIs and slides, these leaders know that trust is built through microsignals: tone, timing, presence, language. It's about following energy before logic.
I love that notion. It sounds like building a connection is almost instinctive in that environment.
Exactly. And then there's executive speed. Hybrid leaders make decisions on the fly before every detail is laid out. In the dynamic ecosystems of cities like Dubai, Riyadh, and Doha, waiting for full clarity isn't an option. Momentum is the strategy.
Right. So they make quick decisions that sometimes might seem, risky by conventional standards.
For sure. But that risk is balanced by the capacity to trust one's intuition and diverse experiences. In this setting, quick decisions are not reckless. They're calculated acts of leadership that embrace ambiguity.
That's a fascinating way to see it. It's like the environment itself forces you to become that kind of leader.
Exactly. The Middle East isn't waiting around trying to catch up with other regions, it's innovating. Leaders here don't just talk about agile leadership in workshops, they live it every single day.
Yeah, and that makes them not just good leaders locally, but also incredibly valuable in global markets, yes?
Precisely. It's been said that if a leader can handle the intense, multicultural, high-speed environment in the Middle East, they can lead anywhere they're trained in the art of handling ambiguity and diverse cultural operating systems.
I love that. It's like the ultimate proving ground for leadership.
Absolutely. And it isn't about compromising one style for another. It's not just blending cultures as if you mix two colors to get purple. It's evolving beyond that, almost like building a whole new spectrum of leadership.
So if I'm hearing you right, this hybrid leadership is really an evolution, a next step in the global leadership blueprint.
Yes, exactly. It's about thinking globally, acting locally, and moving with a pace that's almost unmatched elsewhere. It's the blueprint for the next decade where leaders need to be as agile as they are thoughtful.
It sounds like it's less about having a fixed set of skills and more about having a dynamic living skill set.
Right, and that dynamic set is what makes them so effective. They seamlessly blend data-driven approaches with people-driven energy. For instance, they might be analytical one moment, yet completely relational the next. It's like a finely tuned orchestra switching between instruments.
That's a great metaphor. It really underscores the complexity, but also the beauty of leading in such a diverse environment.
Yep, and if you think about it, this isn't just a neat theory. Leaders in the GCC are living proof of this model. They handle high-pressure, multicultural challenges daily, and that's why many believe that hybrid leaders from this region will soon be among the most sought-after executives globally.
Right. I'm curious. How do companies outside this region start fostering such a leadership style? Is it something that can be taught, or is it just developed through harsh daily realities?
That's a critical question. While there are leadership workshops in the West that preach agile leadership, the Middle East shows us that it's not just theory, it's lived experience. Organizations elsewhere might need to simulate these high-pressure, multicultural settings, create environments where ambiguity and rapid decision-making are the norms.
It's almost like they need a training ground that mimics that high-stakes, real-world pressure cooker dynamic, right?
Exactly. And, maybe that's where the future of leadership training lies globally. It's about intentionally exposing leaders to conflicting, diverse inputs so they learn to balance them effectively.
So not just theory in a classroom, but practical, day-to-day, real-life learning. That's a powerful approach.
Definitely. And it really drives home that hybrid leadership is not a compromise. It's a complete evolution. It allows leaders to speak both the language of data and the language of people, creating a multifaceted approach that's essential in today's global landscape.
Yeah. All in all, it seems like the Middle East is not just catching up on global leadership trends, but actually leading the charge into the future.
Spot on. It's like if you can master leadership in such a diverse, fast-paced environment, you truly can lead anywhere. And that, to me, encapsulates the promise of hybrid leadership, thinking globally, acting locally, and moving fast without losing sight of the human element.
I totally agree. This concept reshapes our understanding of effective leadership. Thanks for such a dynamic conversation.
Thank you. And to everyone tuning in, keep leading with passion and adaptability. See you next time. Thank you for tuning in to the Higher Arabia podcast, brought to you by MatchMaker #1. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, share, and leave us a review. It helps us connect even more talented individuals with opportunities. See you next time. Until then, keep building bridges between cultures and careers.